Hello everyone, what is up? My name is Maria Isabel and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd do a little bit of a book club for you guys because I love reading and I have been reading non-stop the past couple of weeks. It's summer and I'm a student, so I have a ton of downtime right now. I have been reading like no other. I think I've read like 5 books in the past week. So I want to share you what some of my favorite books are, what some of the books I haven't liked are, all that fun stuff because I want you guys to get into reading. Reading's really cool. I feel like not enough people read because you get to live someone else's life for another day. I just love books. Books are the best. So anyway, I'm going to chat you through a couple of my favorite books and a couple of my not so favorite books that I've read recently. So the first book that I actually just finished today is called Notes from My Captivity. I'm going to put pictures of all the books right here next to me and the names of the authors in case I don't remember them off the top of my head. So I'll leave all that right here, and I will also put links down below so you don't have to do all the work because I'm great. I know. You don't have to thank me twice. Anyway, so I just finished the book Notes from My Captivity. It was a very strange book. I don't even know how to explain it. This girl, her stepfather, and a couple other people go on an expedition to find this family called the Asanov. They live in Siberia. I don't even know why I picked this book. Looking back on it, the jacket says really weird stuff. This girl is held captive by the Asanovs, and it is so creepy and so scary. If you like stuff like that, mystery novels, the death of her father is weaved into the entire story, so it's a little bit emotional. I liked parts of it, but it was just really weird. I don't read stuff like that normally. I stick to like contemporary romance novels, so it was just not my thing, but it did keep me on my toes. I wanted to keep reading it because it was obviously a mystery novel. So I'd suggest this to anyone who likes mystery novels and likes being scared out of their pants, but personally it wasn't really my style. Jesus Christ, it's hot in here. I'm sorry if you can hear like background noise. Oh my god, it's so hot. My dad's vacuuming and my sister's playing music, so it's really not a good mix to be filming right now, but I looked cute, so I went with it. Anyway, the next book that I really enjoyed recently is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I read this book around February, so it's been a little bit since I read it, but normally I'm not the biggest John Green fan. For me, I liked Looking for Alaska and The Abundance of Catherine. I was not a fan of like Paper Towns and Fault in Our Stars, like the more popular ones. I feel like John Green has a really strong voice. I was very aware of it when I was reading Paper Towns and Fault in Our Stars, and not so much when I was reading The Abundance of Catherine or Looking for Alaska. Anyway, back to Turtles All the Way Down. It was a fantastic book. It was beautifully written. So the girl in this book has like extreme anxiety about germs. Her and her best friend go on this hunt for a missing billionaire. I don't remember his name. I read it so long ago. They meet a couple friends along the way, and you get to see how her mind works and how this anxiety about the world, how it all just tightens into this like spiral. Her thought process is so unique to anything I've ever read before. How her mind influences her actions. It's so interesting, and I absolutely love this book and would suggest it to almost anyone. There's a little bit of romance, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of like self-reflection, I guess you could say. It was absolutely amazing and I loved it so much. I highly suggest Turtles All the Way Down by John Green to anyone. Another book that I loved reading was Girl Online by Zoe Sugg. I'm a personal Zoella fan. I love her channel. I've watched her for years, and so when she dropped Girl Online, I pre-ordered it. I got it. It's a really good book. It was a little bit basic. It's like almost every other young adult book I've read. There were things that if you're a Zoella fan, it would be nice to read because it relates back to Zoe and her life and relationships that she's had that we've seen her grow up with on YouTube. I think it was a really interesting book for that reason, but I do love the story, all the characters and how their lives intertwine, how this whole concept of Girl Online I love. We kind of see her thoughts through the blog, which I thought was really cool. I would suggest Girl Online to a lot of people. Granted, it wasn't the best thing I've ever read, but personally I really, really loved it. And I also suggest that if you read Girl Online, you read the sequel. What's the third sequel called? Is it a prequel? No, a triquel? I'm not really sure, but it was really good. I highly suggest. The next book that I'm going to suggest is All the Bright Places. This is one of my all-time favorite books. I love the author Jennifer Niven. The story of Finch and Violet is probably one of my favorite love stories of all time. I love that it's kind of tragic, kind of depressing when you read it, which I know it sounds weird. It's nice to read a depressing book almost. I loved it. There's just so much symbolism in the book. I highly suggest it to anyone. Another book by Jennifer Niven that is also really good is Holding Up the Universe. I actually like this one a little bit more than All the Bright Places because the character has a condition which I don't really know how to pronounce. It's called pragopragnesia. I think. But it's basically he can't recognize faces, and this adds like an entire dimension to the book. And it's so interesting how he has to remember people by their voices and the conflicts that creates, and it's so good. I highly suggest you read it. All the Bright Places, Girl Online, and Holding Up the Universe are all kind of like chick lit romance novels. I love them. Don't hate me. Speaking of chick lit romance, another book that I have absolutely loved in the past was The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. This book is about two people, their lives just somehow intertwined. They kept running into each other, they kept seeing each other. It was fate for them to be together. And I love the ending of the book. You will love it if you read the book. The ending is so good. So good! This book does a really good job of focusing on the family lives and how those work into the romance, which I absolutely love. It was just a really good book and I loved reading it. Nicola Yoon also wrote Everything Everything, which is also a good book, but I didn't like it as much as I like The Sun Is Also a Star, mainly for the ending of Everything Everything, and if you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. I hate the mom, just saying. Another book that I recently, I'll hold it up so I don't have to edit it in later. This is The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. I don't really know how to pronounce her name. This book was okay. It was a summer reading book for school. If you like stories about like poverty and culture, how culture affects poverty and stuff like that, it's a good book. But for me, I think part of it was that I was being forced to read it for school, but I also don't really like poetry. It had a poetry book feel to it. I don't like poetry because poetry doesn't make sense to me. I just decided that I didn't like the book, and that's okay. You don't have to like every book that you read. I'd suggest this to anyone who likes poetry books or likes books about poverty. It's not my favorite. It doesn't really make any sense to me. If you like it, go ahead. You know, I don't know what I was trying to say there. Oh my word. Another book that I read recently, I don't actually remember the title. I'm gonna look up the title and put the book here with the title and the author. It was about this African refugee. Oh my word, the story was insane. It was a memoir about this girl's life. Her family was put into this refugee camp, and the first scene you see is people bombing the camp, killing everyone. This insanely complex, captivating story about a refugee in Africa. It's a memoir, so it's all true. I loved it. Every bit of it. I just kept wanting to read more about the African culture because it's so different from American. The book was extremely well written. I liked how the book switched from her past point of view to her current point of view. The author's voice was just so strong. You could tell she was so passionate. She cared so much for her previous country and her family and the culture and everything that made her her. It was just a really fantastic read. Anyway, that is all I have for this. I'm gonna call this book club. We'll see. I may do book club once a month. I may do book club once a year. We'll see how I feel about it. Anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a thumbs up and leave a comment down below telling me your favorite book. I can read it and maybe it will be in the next book club. Please subscribe. Please do all that fun stuff. I'll see you whenever I see you next. Bye!